Inspiration 1390, Andrew Martin.
Yes, Pastor.
We are helping people today.
Yes, we are. 2013, getting it together.
And now we're going to deal with mental illness. Dr. Daniel Bober.
Bober, you got it.
There it is.
Good morning, Dr. Bober.
Good morning. How you doing?
We're great. We're great.
So now, Dr. Bober, where are you from? Are you from Chicago?
I'm actually from Florida.
Really?
I'm actually down in South Florida.
Wow. Listen,
probably a little warmer here than where you are.
Yeah, don't rub it in.
Right.
You need a little cold air down there. Dr. Bober, listen to me. So a lot of people are struggling with something new that I've recently begun to hear a lot about are panic attacks or anxiety attacks. What causes that?
Well, a lot of it is genetic. There are people who have these types of disorders very often have other family members who have it, so it's kind of in their blueprint, if you will. And then, certain things in their environment, job stress, family stress can bring it out, and sometimes it just occurs unexpectedly.
So stress can be a cause of that?
Absolutely.
Wow. People that give me 2 signs that a person is struggling or dealing with depression.
2 signs would be, for example, the person is either sleeping too little or sleeping too much. That would be one sign. Another sign would be weight changes. And, of course, there are other signs besides that. Problems concentrating, feelings of guilt, crying spontaneously. All these would be symptoms of depression.
And why is it that a lot of people refuse to get help when it comes to depression?
Well, unfortunately, I think there still exists in this country a social stigma against mental illness. For example, if you tell someone that you have diabetes, they look at you very differently than when you tell them you have depression. I think depression sometimes is viewed as a character weakness or a character defect.
That's true.
And so people want to sweep it under the rug because of how they're going to be judged by the society around them.
So you all that prescribe medication for people who struggle with depression, can you tell, a lot of them won't have to take this medication
forever,
all their lives, right?
Well, that's correct. I always tell people that they should try to do it without medication if they can. Medication should always be the last resort. But if you've had 1 episode of depression, you have a 30% chance of recurrence, 2 episodes, a 60% chance of recurrence, and finally, if you have 3 episodes, you have a 90% chance of recurrence. So you probably would benefit from lifelong medication because you're someone that's very prone to depression.
Wow.
So what does the medication actually do physically for you?
Well, the medication is believed to increase certain chemicals in the brain which are believed to be deficient in depression.
Okay.
And what we usually do is when someone presents with depression, we may try them out, say, for a year and see how they do. And then if they do okay, we may try to wean them off the medication and see how they do after that. But a lot of times a life stressor comes up in everyone's life that can sort of push them into that depression spectrum, but it doesn't mean that they have to be on medication the rest of their life. It just depends on the individual.
Okay.
If anything, I'm realizing, Doctor, because as a pastor, I counsel a lot of people, stress, and when people can't handle a lot of stress, things start snapping.
It's interesting. During the recent tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut, I said, what we need is not metal detectors, we need mental health detectors. And what is really happening in this society that we live in is we have to come together as a community, as one family, to look out for the people around us, not just the people in our immediate family, but to really speak up and say something when we see someone who's in need and try to reach out. And I think if we had done that more, maybe that tragedy in Newtown could have been avoided.
Okay. Now, I know we talked about people on medication. What advice do you give someone that might be stressed out or feel like the pressures of life are getting to them to actually go see a therapist?
Well, I think a therapist could help them with coping skills, and I think that certainly they need to look at their schedule and prioritize things. Obviously, there's sometimes we all feel like there's not enough hours in the day, but people can only handle so much, and when they get overwhelmed and it starts to affect their daily functioning, that's when they would need to go see a therapist.
Okay. So do you have a website if anyone wanted to learn more about you?
Absolutely. My website is drbober.com. That's B like boy, O, B like boy, ER.com.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate
so
talking
much.
to you, and you need to know that you helped someone today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You guys have a great morning.
You too.
Great, and have a
Sunny
great
Florida.
New Year.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.